Hello everyone. So let's see what we are going to discuss today in terms of your global HRM. Today we are going to do the fourth part, like the last part of your unit 1, as the way it was divided into various parts so that you could understand it more easily. Today we are going to talk about two of the very common thing, as you can understand, with regards to the cross-cultural management what we discussed in the previous part. We are talking about managing the ways in which we can manage the workforce diversity. Now let's take a very small example. We are talking about a company here in India itself, or let's say, forget about taking an example of a company. You have your own housing society wherever you are staying. Now, it's not necessary that everyone is going to be of the same community. Even if it is of the same community, you don't find them to be having the same surname, same way of living, and same attitude, same thought process. You don't find such things. But then still you try to manage with each other. You meet on various society functions, and then accordingly you greet each other, you talk to each other, and that's how you try staying be happy in the same society. Same way when you talk about your workforce, that is your employees, your organization, handling employees in the name of being together, it's a very tedious task for the organization, and that's where HR plays the role. Tomorrow, you as an HR, you are going to handle this diversity. Let's first see the diversity within the country. Now, if it's a IT company or any company out there, the first thing is you would have people coming in from northern part of the country, southern part of the country, east, west, or wherever it may be. And then you find people commenting about each other's language, each other's community, each other's religion, so many things. As an HR, it's your duty to keep this feeling of secularism very much imbibed in the policies of the company. So on the very onset, you make sure that you are telling your employees or making them aware that they cannot do something like this, where they end up hurting the sentiments of some other individual. That's where you are managing diversity. Now, being Indian, talking Hindi, English, it's okay, because at the end of the day we belong to the same culture. What about handling the global workforce diversity? In MNC, handling its subsidiary, its host country nationals, how do they react, how do they actually work, do they have laid back attitude, do they have over enthusiastic attitude, anything in excess is going to be harmful. So how do you deal with this? Here you divide and you understand that these strategies are supposed to be handled in first individuals. Now, from individual perspective, it's necessary that you look at when you see the pointers on the slide, you realize that we are talking about one individual, how he is supposed to be managed. So if it's you as a single individual, as a company, I need to see that I am listening to your communication. I need to see that your grievances are heard. I need to see that how, as an employee, you are contributing to my organization. So how important you are for me, that is what is necessary to be decided. Second, that's where we move on to the group part. Now, when you're all alone and when I'm listening to you, it's a different thing. But then, if you are among your friends, if you are all together with a group of friends and coming up to me and saying, okay ma'am, something like this, or you need to complain about something, all I can do is I can give you a listening ear. But then I cannot give you any kind of a solution or suggestion, or I cannot guide you directly, because the whole group is there. It's very difficult to speak up your point. Same goes with the organization. When you talk about your organization, when it is about a group, appraisals, compensation being given, training being provided, when it is from the group perspective, you need to handle it in a very critical manner. You don't know who's going to react, and if it is inter-countries, multiple countries employee coming together and working as one team, you need to handle each and every employee individually, but then in the group itself. So when it comes to group is going to give out the impression about the country, about the subsidiary. And then when you talk about this whole thing in terms of group, this group gets converted into the organizational part. So overall, how the organization is working, how the various functions are working, the training, recruitment and these things, how each and every subsidiary is doing. Need not necessary if I am working in McDonald's, so McDonald's India and McDonald's Japan, both the ways the treatment of the employees is going to be the same. It can vary. So accordingly, this becomes my organizational part. And then we talk about the national level. So it's again parent country, it's again host country, it's again third country. So you talk about ethnocentric, I repeat, ethnocentric, polycentric, geocentric and regiocentric. These approaches, whichever approach I am using, at the end of the day, I need to deal with employees. I need to have that connect with my employees. And that's where it can be in terms of, say, leadership, what leadership I am choosing and why I am choosing in a particular manner. That is going to give a strong message to my employee. Are they going to be happy working? Are they not going to be happy working with us? And finally, the last part of your strategies would be that of international perspective. What image? Now, let's take the example of image of an Amazon. Here, in spite of Amazon being a US company or Apple being a US company or Google, we all know, like you must have seen the various work culture related things about Google or must have read in the news. Google is one of the best place to work. They provide you so many different say benefits and so many different perquisites that you enjoy working over there. But have we ever realized that we are talking about one of the most busiest domain, the search engine? So the pressure on the employees is going to be too much. So to handle that pressure, the company is giving these kind of benefits. You talk about giving pet park, you talk about giving treehouse meeting areas, you talk about giving music rooms. So these things are nothing but done from country to country. An international level, how am I giving an image? Google and a US company sitting over here, we as an Indian, we feel excited working in Google. Same goes with Tata also, no? In our own country, the moment I say Tata, it's all like, okay, if you're getting a job from Tata, you're all happy, even if you have not known anything about it earlier. This way you deal with your workforce diversity. You make sure that the people know your brand and they know it very well. And that's how we put up, and that's how these leadership, recruitment and all sort of things are handled with. And the very last topic we are talking about, like we are talking about a concept which you and me, we shouldn't be imbibing in us in the name of getting adjusted in any of the culture. What if, say I give you a small example, brought up in Bombay or in a city area. Today I tell you 6 months you're going to go and stay in your native place. Suddenly you have all these things, network is not working fine and there is no proper facility. How am I going to adjust? I cannot stay there more than 8 days. How am I going to stay there for 6 months? I'm not going. And that's the same thing happening with us now when we are grown up and our parents ask us to go and stay in their native place for 2 months of summer holidays. That's where we talk about culture shock. The most interesting topic of your IHRM, we talk about culture shock. How do I deal with the culture shock? Being in India, it's okay. You move from Bombay to, say, Kolhapur or Bombay to, say, any of the villages out there in northern or southern part or east or west part. What if I pick you up and I put you in Iceland? What if I pick you up and put you over there in Turkey? It's going to be difficult because people over there, they don't drink that usual milk tea that we all are quite used to. They don't eat poha, upma, sheera. So how are you going to survive? What are you going to do? This is a culture shock. And from my HRM perspective, it's very much necessary that my employee is made aware before relocating that these are the things he's going to face. And this whole chart, when you see on the slide, we have got a very initial phase of honeymoon phase, the first phase which is termed as honeymoon phase. Here, the thing is, it's exactly like a marriage situation. You come close to one individual and then you're all excited, I'm getting married. You spend lakhs of rupees and then you get married. And then the initial 3-6 months, it's all happy and it's all nice. You feel okay, I'm trying to know the person and you feel happy with that person. It's a good situation. Same thing happens. You have moved, like being born and brought up in India or in any country, and then you're moving to US or any other country, and you feel, okay, now I'm going to be in US. I'm going to put it up on my Facebook. I'm going to put it up on all my social media that I have relocated to another country. Good. That's where it's a honeymoon period. You try to roam around these cities, you try to know what is the speciality, you try to buy things, you try to do adventures, lot many things. But then once this honeymoon phase is over, you get into anxiety. You feel, all right, now it's going to get on me. I am supposed to work day long in the office, and once I am done with the office, I come back home, I have to cook my own food, and then I have to eat it. And then you start longing for your mother's food, you start longing for your home culture, you start longing for your people around you, your friends. Leaving your social life in India, you have gone there and you have settled. Your friends are like, wow, you are in US. But then for you, it is like it's the same old thing. Waking up, going to the office, coming back, doing your own chores, and then sleeping. So that's your anxiety level. And at one point, you're like, can I leave? And slowly, gradually, this anxiety gets absorbed in you, and you try to adjust. And you're like, this is my life. I'm going to say live over here like this, at least for the another 2-3 years, whatever time duration my project is, or for whatever time I'm here. And once I'm adjusted, I start enjoying it in the name of acceptance. I feel all right. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So let's just go ahead and let's just keep it like this and continue doing it. So you accept it, and once you accept it, you feel that's it. This is my life. So in order to absorb this culture, in order to be a part of this culture, you need to go, or you generally go through this whole flow of your events that take place in your culture shock. And the more the company tries to help you, that's where you learn. So remember, you're shifting from one country to another is nothing more than a marriage, where you first enjoy your honeymoon phase, second is your anxiety, third is your adjustment, and fourth is your acceptance. The sooner you accept, the merrier you're going to be. So this was all about your whole unit altogether in GIST, where we completed the overview of International Human Resource Management, speaking about the introduction part of IHRM, speaking about the overall contents in the name of organizational dynamics, in the name of all the approaches, ethnocentric, polycentric, geocentric and regiocentric. And then we talk about your strategies, how you're handling your workforce diversity. So this was the gist of your Unit 1. Thank you for watching.